Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I know I've gone on about this quite lengthily over the last few segments, but during my trip to Japan, one of the reasons that I went there was I wanted to learn about ikebana, moribana, I wanted to learn about the gardens, and I also wanted to learn about the Kokedama or hanging moss gardens. I absolutely love them, and I think if you're living in a small place, this is just the perfect way to go. Now, while I was there, I did take a class with a master Kokedama maker, and this is one of the things that I made. Not this one, I had to make one of these when I got home because I couldn't bring it home. But I just love the simplicity of the roundness of the ball. He did all of his, for the segment that we did, were put onto these glass bowl or glass dishes, little stones down the bottom, and then he covered the stones with the water, and just looking at it was just the most beautiful thing, and it almost gives you a sense of peace. They're really, really easy to make, and I thought, I've done them before, but now that I know how to do them perfectly and properly, I thought I would share with you all how to do them again. Okay, so these are the things that you need. You need a plant, and what I've done with this, I love the camellias. Oh, the camellias were just beautiful, and I love this little baby here. Isn't that just gorgeous? And there's lots of little buds on here, so I'm quite happy because I'm going to have something that's going to continue to flower for quite some time. And then when it's overflowering, I can just put it outside and it can just rest away until next season. So into here, now there's lots of recipes, but what I discovered is if you don't have access to bonsai mix, which is quite hard to get, you can make your own. So my recipe is for half peat moss. Now this is the peat moss here, and the great thing about this is it holds its moisture and it's got lots of nutrients in it. And I also have discovered that it's good for plants that like acidic soils like rhododendrons. I've got some potting mix over here, and this is just the seed raising granules, or what is it called, vermicult or something like that. I just add that in with my my potting soil, and that's also going to give it nutrients and help it just to continue to like feed my plant. So I just use 50% of the peat moss and 50% of this mix over here. You're also going to need some sphagnum moss. Now you can buy sphagnum moss either, this is a wet type that you can buy, and it's quite expensive buying it this way. I usually buy mine dry and then I just soak it up as I've done here, and this stuff takes up like seriously almost like about 5 times its own weight in moisture. Right, the first thing to do is with a bit of soil, and I am going to make a mess now. I know I'm going to make a mess, but I need to wet this. And if you are using sphagnum moss, not sphagnum moss, using soil, and you're buying it, the potting soil in a bag, make sure that you're wearing a mask and you're wearing gloves, and you're, all your orifices are all covered up, because there are microorganisms in there that can cause all sorts of not pleasant conditions, i.e. like Legionnaire's disease, etc., etc. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just get that into the middle like so, and I've taken off most of the soil that was around that little soil, the little root ball here. And what he did was, with wet hands and with your sphagnum moss, they form it into a ball. Now the ball has to be as big as what the root ball is, or the pot that it's come out of. And then once you've got that all nice and firm, there's a bit too much water in there, so I'm just going to squeeze a bit of that out. And I think that this needs to be just a little bit bigger to hold those little roots into place. And once that's quite hard, what he did was he cut it in half like so, and then he got the balls, the roots, and quite firmly and it is quite a bit of a mucky job, but look, if you've got all day and you want to put a bit of love into it, what's wrong with just spending just a little bit of time just forming the ball that you want, like that. And the other great thing about the potting soil that I've got here is it's got little granules. Not only has it got those little wee white granules down the bottom here that are a fertilizer, it also has nutrients, other nutrients too. So you just keep going until you've got this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little ball like so, that's quite firm, and I'm just trying to squeeze out as much of that moisture as I can to make that go like a nice hard, oh look at that, isn't that just beautiful? I love it. I'm so in love with these, and my husband is not very happy with me because since I was in Japan I've found all these great ideas for doing a garden, and I can't wait to rip everything out and to start again. I'm going to have, I hope I've got enough years in me to do beautiful bonsais, but we'll talk about those in due course. Okay, so there we have our little ball like so, and I'll just push that to one side, and I'm just going to put that there for 1 minute, and now you know where I'm going. I'm going to wipe my hands and then I'll be back because I don't want this in with my nice clean moss. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, clean hands, and there's my wee ball, and I know that it's perfect because the soil isn't crumbling off it, and that's where the master said you know that you're on the right track. Actually, wouldn't it be nice to just leave it like that? No, it wouldn't be a good idea like that because it would fall to pieces. Okay, so now into here, getting the sphagnum moss out, and I'm going to squeeze out quite a bit of water, and I'm just going to lay that down there so that I've got a nice rounded ball or mat. That's what I want. I want a nice mat to form a good ball. And you don't want to take too much of this water out because we are going to need it. And this is going to mean that my ball is going to be just a little bit bigger. Okay, getting rid of that, and then somewhere, yes, here it is. I've now got some string. We need some string and now I'm not going to make this a hanging one. I'm going to make this one that sits. So if you want to put a string on, I can talk to you about putting a string on in due course. Okay, so there's my nice little flat ball or mat, and it needs to be even so that the whole mat is a nice even size. And then very gently, look at you, beautiful wee thing, putting that down into there. And then it's just a matter of bringing up all of your moss like so. Oh, this was the bit that made me a bit sort of anxious because I kept thinking, oh my goodness, because you don't want to get any of your soil anywhere near, any of your moss anywhere near your soil. And then it's just now a matter of squishing that together. So you're going to have to just sort of like trial and error and muck around at this stage until you get it to the right sort of bally shape. Pushing that in as you go. So it is, mine's going to be much, much bigger, but oh, see what happened? Because I didn't do it properly. You almost need like another set of hands to do this. So what I'm going to do is just keep going very gently, and I can see now why that isn't holding, because I didn't have enough on that side. So if you've got to add, do it at this stage, and I know that I've got a decent whack at the bottom. Oh, this is when I seriously got to be quite panicky. So I'm just going to tie that like so. And then it's just a matter of very, very carefully bringing that around. Oh, be careful, be careful, be careful. It'd be probably easier to have done this without any, oh, I do need 2 sets of hands. And then just keep going and doing he did the sides first because he said that you need to get this here all nice and neat around the outside. Be careful, be careful, be careful. And then this is when it's still not quite tight enough, but then going around and underneath and then through there like so. Oh goodness me, you can see why you need 2 hands. And then going around and over the top like so, pulling that firmly as you go until all of that sphagnum moss is quite neatly encased and wrapped in the string. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Here I am like a novice teaching the whole world how to do these when really I am not a master. I'm just a student. But as they say, patience is a virtue. Now there we have it. And then I'm just squeezing out some of that moisture as I go, and then just having another go. And I need to cut that off because that is so annoying me. And just keep going until you have completely wrapped it. And the other thing that I'm going to do is, I'm just going to go to there, but you get the drift of where I'm going. I need to put some more around that to make that nice and firm. But how cute is that in the making? Definitely does need to be restrung, but you know, you get what I'm talking about, and I don't need to bore you anymore with the details. And then to water, if you want to put a hanging string, it's just a matter of getting 3 lengths exactly the same of your string, like so, making sure that they are, and you can make these to whatever length that you want them to be. And then once this is sort of dried out a bit and it is nice and firm, it's just a matter of finding a string and hanging those from 3 equal distances, like the distance of a triangle around. But I think that the delicacy of these little flowers sitting on a beautiful ceramic dish, or the glass one as I've shown you, will be just beautiful. And I think that this is a great way of bringing the outdoors indoors and having a lovely little moment of spring to love and enjoy. And Mrs. Wilson, who lives up the road, who's 99 nearly, this is something that I will take her and she will absolutely love it. You can do it with bulbs, you can do it with all sorts of botanical material, but isn't that just lovely? I just love it so much, and I'm pleased I went all that way to Japan to learn how to make this. You can also, oh, and before I go, the other thing that you can do is you can put sheet moss over that, but I have no access to sheet moss here in New Zealand, so that will do. And the other, one last thing I need to share with you, to water these, it's just a matter of submerging that into some water, submerge the whole thing into water so that this takes up more nutrients and some moisture, and then let it drip, and then put it back onto your saucer or wherever its resting place is. I hope you've enjoyed that. I have enjoyed sharing it with you, and I look forward to seeing you all again another day.